Hello, dear friends. This is Grandma Jeannie from Dollhouse Rescue. Welcome back to my workshop. I'm sorry, I just can't get enough of working on this Christmas house, and I am determined to get it all spruced up, fixed up as nice as I can, and then have it stored and use it next year for Christmas. It had quite a few little things with it that I have already updated. If you saw my last video, I finished up by showing you how I attached a magnet to this battery pack. Now, this is a string of lights I got at the Dollar Tree. I've actually used these for 3 Christmases now, actually on the same battery, and it's worked very well. But this battery pack's always been kind of a nuisance because it's big and it's heavier than the lights, and where do I want to put it so it doesn't show? So I've attached this magnet, and now that will attach here behind the house or on the side of the house. I'm going to show you how it attaches here inside the house, but really I will hide it around the back of the house so you won't see it. And then when I need to turn them on and off, I can just pull that off, turn them off and on, and then put the battery pack back out of sight. So I've got these 2 strings already done. This string is going to go, I'm going to put the battery pack over here on the behind the edge of the house on the right hand side here, and then I'm going to string these across the top, and I'm going to show you either later in this video or another video how I'm attaching those lights without putting tape on my house. But before I do anything further, I want to show you these little stockings. Now, these were little red stickers, and they're kind of sparkly, and I got them I think last year, and I added the white fur to them. They were just solid red. I just cut out some white paper and then covered it with that white fur, and I've attached a name to each one of these. So each one of these is my grandchildren, my younger grandchildren, the ones that are 20 years old and younger. I want to give a special shout out to the littlest grandkids and great grandkids, and that would be Dane, Quincy, Zeta, Leroy, and Crayson, and they each have a stocking up here, as well as the ones that are just a little bit older. The other thing I showed you last time was how I was using museum wax to attach the little things so they'd quit falling around inside there. So all the little things in the living room, kitchen, the nursery, and the bathroom, and I'm working on, I think I might have the bedroom done, have all been attached. The only room left to do is the laundry room clear over here on the bottom left. Oh, you can't even see that. Let's slide him over so you can see. You can still barely see it. There it is, and it's got quite a few little decors in there that need to be attached. I also put a little bit of batting here along the very front of this edge to soften it up. And if you might recall, I've got that side yard that goes clear over here on the far end, and I also put some batting along the front edge of that as well as up here on this patio. So it looks a little less like foam core board. It looks a little more like snow. Now, before I slide this back and continue on the project I'm working on tonight, I want to show you the lights I like to use. And I've only got one light in this dollhouse tonight. But these are puck lights that I get on Amazon. This one's got a little bit of gold trim that I glued on there. It's got a magnet glued to the top underneath that paper. So I can pull that out and put it in any room, move it house to house. I've got like 10 of these, so I can do a bunch of them and light up whatever room I want lit up. Let's look at that bedroom again, how nice that looks with that lit up in there. Look at how pretty that is. And I'm going to do a whole session that talks about those, but tonight I just wanted to give you a peek at that. I want to show you what I'm going to try for hanging those lights, but first I want to show you this little bed. This little bed I've had a long time, I think since childhood, and it's been broken for a long time. But I have held on to that missing piece for a long time. So tonight I've run a bead of glue along there, and I'm going to get that fixed like once and for all. So that worked out really nice. Now, of course, I used my favorite glue that I like to use in the dollhouse, Beacon 3-in-1, and I'll put a link in the description just for your convenience so you'll know where to get it. You can get it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Amazon. I've bought it at all those places. All right, I've got that in there. Going to let it dry. Now, I've washed this off. It was pretty grubby because I hadn't washed it for a long time. But I was looking at these dots, and some of them, actually it was white, and then that white faded off, and then Now the green, there's some of those dots are green, but I thought it'd be cute if I made all those dots green, and I took my marker and I've tried a few of those. So I'm going to take my marker, rather than repainting that white, I'm going to accentuate that pattern by putting my marker on each of those little dots. And I'll see if I like it. And if I don't, I can wipe it off. That looks a lot better. I am very happy with that. Now I'm also going to take this green marker and I'm just going to trace along, there's like some fading here along the edges a little bit. And I think I'm just going to go over that and fill that in, make it a little bit darker again. It's just kind of worn out there along the edges, and then I'll run my finger over it and smooth that out. That looks a lot better. Now this is a Plastico bed for those of you that want to know. Until recently, in fact until tonight, it never occurred to me to wonder what brand that was, but I knew it wasn't a Marks, because the Marks bed I've always thought was too small. For instance, this is Grandpa Joe, who is a pretty good size for this house, and you can see he can't near fit on that Marks bed, but he does on the Plastico. That's one reason, although this bed was not original to this house, I like it and I'm going to keep it in here because it's a much better size for adults. This bed I have in the children's room. Okay, I had another cute idea that I want to show you before I forget. I came across this really cute little chubby cat, and I think he is so cute. And I think what I'm going to do is find a spot here on my new tree and poke him in there and put a little glue in there, and it'll look like that cat has climbed in that tree. I think that's super cute. I don't know, maybe that doesn't even need glued. I don't think I am going to glue it. He's fitting in there pretty good. But look how cute that is. All right, let me stick this back in the living room. I put that light down in the living room so you can see how cute that is in there. I'll try to give you a close-up of that before we're done tonight. All right, I've got another idea on how to get this string of lights to stay up where I want it to be. I've tried several things, and although it sort of worked, I think I can do something smarter. So here's my current idea. I've got a wooden toothpick, a round one here. I might take two of them, and a little piece of craft wire that I just cut off of this roll. This is fairly fine. It's 26 gauge. It's fairly fine. And I just took a couple inches. I'm going to wrap it around that toothpick, and I'm going to try to make it's going to look kind of like a spring or a coil or something. Let's see if we can get that wrapped around there and make it look like I want it to look. Success. So now my great idea is, can I wind this around this wire? I can already tell you this wire doesn't have the right kind of metal in it to be magnetic. So, but I know this string is, or this little wire here is. So let me wrap that around there and see if I can get a magnet to hold it then. That has worked perfectly. Then I was able to get that little spiral of wire just wrapped around the light wire. And honestly, now I can slide that back and forth if I need to. I've got one of those little tiny magnets stuck up here on the edge of the house, and that also can move freely back and forth if I need to adjust it. And now that that light wire is magnetic, that little bitty magnet will hold that up there just like I like it. So I'm going to put a few more of those on here, over here, and then this wire will go down that side, and then this wire here will come up the side and across the top. I'm just going to have to make like 4 or 5 of those little springs, and this is going to be perfect. I'm going to show you a close-up of that spiral wire around that light wire. See how I've just spiraled that around there, and there's that little bitty magnet. So now that holds that just fine. And also down in the living room, that little cat sticking out of that Christmas tree. All right, let me get the rest of those made up. That only took a minute, and I've got that string done, and that has never looked better than it looks right now. Now this string that goes along the bottom, I think can just lay along there. I'm not too concerned about it. Let's see, we can get that battery box up here and we'll turn it on. How easy was that? Okay, so this string will lay along the front, and I'll get that white foam core board with all the little things on it, and that will lay along that. And then this other string, I'm going to have to make the little spiral things to put up along the roof. I am loving it. I got it done. I got all those lights wired up, and they're attached just with magnets. I can move them if I need to, or even remove them, replace the batteries. I've got the battery packs hidden. I've got most of the stuff attached down with museum wax. I am just in love. I've got this little piece out front. Isn't that sweet? After I showed you last time, there were some little pieces of like dark green grass along the bottom of this fence that were attached to the fence. Well, I painted those white and put a little bit of that batting to cover that up to make that a little snowy looking. All right, what I'm going to do off camera is take this roof off and straighten it out, maybe clean the roof just a little bit, then put it back where it goes on its new shelf. And if I get a chance in the future, I'll show you a picture of what it looks like when it's back on its new shelf. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, you always have a friend here in Iowa, and Grandma Jeannie loves you.